Hello and welcome back. I hope you enjoyed yesterday's lesson. We sure went off on a tangent, but it was really powerful. So if you haven't watched it for some reason, go watch it. However, I hope if you're here, you've been watching all the lessons that come before this one. Lesson 280, the declaration for today is, what limits can I lay upon God's Son? It's following the same thing that we've been talking about the last couple days. What limits can I lay upon God's Son? If God is infinite and limitless, how can we put limits on us, on ourselves? And again, go back to that image of the gem. You are one with, if you can view in the context of A Course in Miracles, the reason it's using like the God and the Sun is, again, see it like the gem and then the facet. So you are the gem, but you're having the experience of the facet. So if God, the gem, is limitless, how can it say that the facet is limitless? The facet isn't a separate thing. It just appears to have a certain experience, but is infinite, just like God. So why do you play the game of putting limits on yourself or even on others? We're all that one God, right? God created you limitless and free, and you remain as God created you. I am not a body, I am free, I remain as God created me. We make up, we invent, we pretend to be imprisoned, but we remain free. We only play out these games of imprisonment or limitation in the illusion, in the dream, but you remain free. You never left. You never left. The bed is the analogy of the dream, where you're like, when you're in the dream, you never left. You're sleeping in your bed, your body's sleeping in your bed. I mean, some spiritual people will say you ventured to other realms, but we're not going to go there. The truth is that you've never left. And that's one of the parts of like realization, self-realization, is that you never left. You never left. You never actually went somewhere. You didn't go from God and then incarnate into a human and now are, stuck here in the human. You remain as one with God. You remain as source. You remain as God. Just kind of like peering through the lens of the human experience. Just like when you're asleep, you're just kind of peering through the lens of the dream. So if God, it's simple. If God is free and limitless, then you cannot place limits in reality upon yourself, upon God's Son. And it only, though all those limits that you experience only exist in the dream as part of the story in the game that you play, and you get to let that go. So the prayer is, today, let me give honor to your child or son, for thus alone I find the way to you. God, I lay no limits upon the son or the child or the daughter. You love and you created limitless. The honor I give to him or her is yours, and what is yours belongs to me as well. Sammy?
Thank you. What limits me is only what I think. True, because it, if you think about it, if you think, like even your body, for example, it's like you're thinking about the limitations that of your body, right? So the body cannot limit you, only your thoughts about your body can limit you. The world cannot limit you, only the thoughts about your thoughts about the world can limit you. Oh, got a twang in my heart then. Circumstances cannot limit you. Only your thoughts about the circumstances can limit you. And we want to grip and hang on to those limitations so much, don't we? Which is just ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. They say it's harder to carry on the story of you being powerless and limited than it is to be in your infinite nature. And yet, how many people do you see living as if they're, living connected to the understanding of their infinite nature? It's because we're also, not all, but many are conditioned to believe in lack and limitation, suffering and pain. I'm sure I've even had this. Um, I've had this story was not story conversation with so many people, and a lot of people don't like it when I share it because I always say that not a lot of people don't like it. That's a lie. Basically what I'm trying to say is I don't if we have a choice and there are infinite versions of us and infinite timelines and everything is a story, then the pain and suffering is a story. To which then someone would say, yeah, well, it's a journey. We live in a world of duality. It's a story. Right? It's a story. What limits me is only what I think. Like I've always had this um belief within me that you literally get to live the best life every day, right? And it is so magical and it's so wonderful because you choose to, if you want to, right? Because we have a choice. And the only thing that limits us is the things we think. If I then decide that, oh, this is too boring, everything is so fantastic and perfect, I want to experience more suffering, then so be it. That can happen. Do I think that that's actually what's been the unfolding of life itself? Yes. I believe that there was a perfect existence. And then we decided, as not we, but consciousness decided, infinite intelligence decided to evolve, to experience what it was like to be different. And then this is why we see so much um what's like we see so many different expressions, right? Because the infinite wants to experience itself. It doesn't want to play the perfect game. It wants to be like, well, its natural purpose is to just keep creating, keep evolving more and more and more and more, right? So perfect then became imperfect, and then but it's still perfect because it's all creation. But my point is, don't let anybody tell you um or limit you with stories. Because here's the thing, here it says what limits me is only what I think, but also what you fail to forget is that you also allow other people to limit you based on what they think, right? Which is the biggest trap that so many fall into. If, like we said in the last couple of lessons, by our very nature we are infinite, I exist. After that, I proclaim who I am. Therefore, I have a choice in the story or the limitation that I believe in. Therefore, I get to choose. And as I am a unique expression of the infinite, I get to choose what that story looks like for me. That's it. So, what limits me is only what I think or what I allow other people to make me believe and think, right? So again, as we spoke about in previous lessons, there are no limitations. There are only stories of limitations because by the very nature of who you really are is infinite. That's it for me.
Okay, thank you so much, and we will see everyone tomorrow.